So this video is going to be, oh, I need to meal first, demonstrating uh, Infinite Magic Find in version 1.06. And the reason I use, I don't know, I don't like to talk while the music is loud because it's really loud in my headphones and I don't know if you can hear me over it. Uh, anyway, and 1.06 is because two rituals with the Dark Souls results in forcing rare items, whereas in 1.0 I found that I did up to 10 rituals and it still would not force rares, so they could still drop magic and set items. And so in 1.06, two rituals does force fire resist and cold resist. Wow. It does force rares, and since I'm trying to farm rare rings, that's good for me. So I'm gonna go to the City of the Damned, look for the stairs down. Okay, I think they're probably, oh, there. Clear out some of the monsters nearby so that when I'm on the other side of the gap, they're not active. Like when I'm over here, then these monsters are still spawned in. And then I'm going to look for 4 black souls or dark souls or whatever they're called. Gloams. Kill Isuel if he's there. Otherwise it kind of mess things up. Because you want the only monsters alive in your aggro radius to be 4 souls. So there's 2. I'm probably going to accidentally kill some of them, especially with these guys. Okay, there's another one. And if they start the thing, oh, there's still 5 of them. Okay. Alright, now there's 4. Follow me. Good. Good. Okay, and while I wait for them to reset, I check the gamble screen to see if there's amulets or rings. And then I just kind of run around in place because there's no way to get enough damage reduction to make it so that I don't have to move. And I want them to do the thing twice. If you don't know what this is, if you haven't seen it already, when you have 4 of any of the soul types on screen, they can be champions or minions. They can be the Act 3 Gloams or Act 5 Burning Souls or whatever they're called. And when there's 4 of them on screen, or 4 of them within your aggro radius, then eventually they'll stop attacking you and they'll start making shapes with their lightning bolts. And every time they spell or they make a shape, you gain, like, I don't know, a bunch of magic find. And they spell like 6 or 7 shapes, and then they go back to attacking you. And in older versions of the game, like this one, 1.06, when you have lots of magic find, you can force, or the items that drop will have a minimum quality, and after 2 times they must think there's another monster around. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, if they're taking like way too long to start, there's some other monster in your aggro radius messing them up. That's why I killed these guys that were on the other side of the stairs. But yeah, they'll drop a minimum item quality. In this case, they'll drop rares, and I want to find rare rings. Okay, they started. Okay, good. Sometimes you'll think there's only 4 of them, and then they'll, like, one here, one here, one here, and one here, and then the top part of the pentagram will be empty, because there's actually a 5th one, like, off screen that you didn't know about, stuck behind an obstacle. So then you have to either move and try again, or go find that one and kill it. And this works as early as 1.0, but in 1.0 the magic find does not force rares to drop. If you try this in 1.07, you can very easily, in Hell, make all items drop as unique or failed unique. And in version 1.08, in Hell, to get all items to drop as unique, you have to get a bunch of well, I suppose you could babysit it, but the best way to do it is to get a bunch of items that have self-repair and damage reduction. So that you have like 85 damage reduction and maxed out lightning resists and magic damage reduction so that they do no damage to you, and that your items repair faster than they break with durability, and then you leave your computer alone for 2 hours and come back. And then they'll force to drop uniques. So if you want to find the 1.08 wind force, that's the best way to do it. Fortunately for me, I have no desire to find the 1.08 wind force. Okay, now I need them to do that whole thing again, a second time. Sometimes you get lucky and they start like almost right away, but usually not. I think in the later versions, they increase the chance that they start doing the shapes, so you don't have to wait as long. And while this kind of seems like an Easter egg, what it really seems like to me is, oh, I didn't have is one of the developers wanted to play the game and have better items than everyone else. Why are you spawning? I left you behind so that you wouldn't spawn. And then abused it and sold items on eBay. Because that's what I would do if I was a developer and I put this in. Because nobody else knew about it. Okay, usually it doesn't take this long to get them to start 2 rituals, but I had that flesh spawner in the aggro radius that I wasn't really aware of, messing it up. So, because right now, it says I'm at 11 minutes. Typically, getting 2 rituals and clearing the zones that I'm going to clear, which is the High Council and the Arcane Sanctuary, takes me between 15 and 20 minutes. I used to clear Plains of Despair and City of the Damned and River of Flame as well, but I don't like clearing those zones with the Barbarian because they're wide open and you have to go chase monsters down. And I find that the Arcane Sanctuary, the narrow pathways, just a lot more tolerable. And I'm looking for rings, and because of the way the treasure class system is in this version, there are certain zones that are more likely to drop rings, so like all of Act 4, and Arcane Sanctuary is one of those zones, and the High Council is one of those zones. So that's where I go. And once I have a total of 522 unidentified rare rings, then I will identify them all at once.
Hail to you, champion.
Not in town.
And 522 is, I think, 9 mules who have full inventories, full stash, and 3 full tomes of Identify. And it's the closest number that I was able to get while having full inventories to be, let's see, war side, no. Closest to 500.
Greetings.
And you might see me throw away some stuff that you think is good. And I probably used to keep that stuff, but now I'm a lot more picky. Because I have a lot of classic boots and classic belts. I'm a bit less picky with amulets for use in classic. And I have a level 5, I believe, leap. Because 5 is how much was needed to cross this gap. Oh, 3. Okay, I have a level 3 leap because 3 was how much was needed to cross this gap. And the summoner is unaffected by my like 2800 magic find that I have. So he will probably drop a blue item. Unique monsters are unaffected by magic find. And bosses are unaffected by magic find. I'm unsure if champions are affected or not, but I think that they are not. It's always annoying when a ghost dies over the void, but it happens anyway. So the ghoul lords and the ghosts have a good chance to drop rings, like it's a big part of their treasure class. The goat lords or blood clan or whatever they are very unlikely to drop a ring. Hell clan. You can see like everything that's dropping is rare. You'll notice also that if a throwing weapon drops, that it is not rare. That's because throwing weapons cannot be magical. Their highest quality a throwing item can be is superior. Did I pick a sapphire? Yeah. And then after each branch of the sanctuary, I go back to town.
Allow me to advise you.
Identify and sell everything that's not a ring. Check the gamble screen for jewelry.
Good day.
And then go to the next branch. And I picked the sapphires in particular because I used them in 1.07. And when there's ghosts, you'll see I stand around a lot, waiting for them to not be over the void, if possible. These are okay. They would have dropped onto the pathway. Probably at some point I might try doing this in multiplayer with myself with 5 players in the game. 5 is gives you the best no drop chance. Having more than 5 does not improve your no drop chance. So I might try that. I just really dislike loading multiple games into one game and then playing with lag. And you have to have a really nice computer to not lag with 5 of yourself in the game. And I play on a laptop, so I check gothic bows and sometimes rune bows, hoping for really high damage and increased attack speed. with the idea that I might be able to make an Amazon with multi-shot that clears the Chaos Sanctuary for better chances of jewelry than I'm getting here. But I'm particularly interested in rings rather than amulets, because for two reasons. The amulets cannot have druid skills in this version because there is no druid,
Ask.
and I'm trying to build a really powerful hurricane druid. Fast cast rate, but no mana per kill. And the monsters are not high enough level to drop +2 skills amulets.
Hi there.
They can only drop +1. Okay. Additionally, the gloves in this version cannot have like Amazon skills like bow and crossbow or passive and magic. So they can be good for use in Classic, but you probably won't really have much use for them in later versions. Especially if you're playing in 1.07 where you can get much better gloves. Whoops. And my guy is only level 79. If he were higher level, I think this would go a bit faster because his chance to miss would be smaller. And sometimes I pick up War Axe and sometimes I don't. To look at it and see if it's if it can beat Honor Naga, but it would be incredibly difficult to beat Honor Naga for low-level dueling with this version, simply because there's no ethereal self-repair and there's no sockets that spawn as an Apex. So the most sockets it could get would be one from Larzuk later. So really, I probably shouldn't even pick up any of them, but yeah, there's no rings, so I can just ask Arcane to identify my junk.
Allow me to advise you.
Right. I have better. Yeah, I had better. Resists are too low. That's interesting. If this had cast rate, then I could see it being useful. I'll go ahead and keep it. Could be useful for like if you're starting a guy in 1.10.
What you need?
I misclick picking the wrong waypoints pretty regularly. So that's why in general I try to only pick waypoints with a character that I'm actually going to use. I did not anticipate this guy being an Arcane Sanctuary runner. So that's why he has so many Act 2 waypoints. And I look at scepters and wands to see. I'm looking for one with faster cast rate and mana per kill. Well, actually, fastest cast rate and mana per kill. In case I ever decide to try to make an Amazon. Because I'm curious what how the lightning mastery works, how much. Because it says like reduces the cost of lightning spells or something like that by a percentage, and I'm wondering how high does that percent go, and does it work with energy shield, like stacking with damage reduction? But my curiosity is not very strong, and so I haven't done it yet. Yeah, that was a really poor result. I got 0 rings, killing the Arcane Sanctuary and the High Council, and then yeah, disappointing result. Usually I get somewhere between 0 and 5, with 5 being really lucky and 0 being pretty unlucky. And then after a run, I always re-roll a new map so that I don't have to worry about dupes. So I'll go into normal and then back into hell to do the next one.